Hello, hello, hello. So this is my first Christmassy mani. I've done a petty, but this one will be a little bit Christmassy. This one was inspired by this is actually my last color by number mani for Stacy's group. So this is the last one I have left is use your favorite set, which I don't know that I have a favorite set because there's just so many good ones. Um, but I do remember when I joined Stacy's group, she asked, "What's your favorite?" This is not worth using. This is a really old Tuesday of Space Case. I'm just gonna toss that. She asked what your favorite set was, and Shangri-La is one of my early loves. So, and I haven't gone back to revisit it. So I received it. One of my friends gifted it to me, and honestly, I don't know if it's one I would have purchased on my own because this was back in the days when I would wear, a single set, and it was very, like when you're new at Color Street before you're a full-blown addict. Um, but she gifted it to me, this friend, and wearing it, I really loved it. And then I started seeing I love that how it looks when you layer it over different colors. It's just like it was very magical to me. Anyway, so I had put that as my favorite set when I joined Stacy's group. So that's kind of like my go-to one, I'll say. I don't really know if it is still my favorite. And so yeah, so I was gifted that set. That was a long time ago, and then it kind of became really rare, if you guys remember. And then they brought it back with the what was it, Florentine Mosaic, and I didn't buy that bundle, but then I think it's in the core now, isn't it? So, it's definitely that was a little sticky coming off. So what I laid down here is Alaskan Sky. Super pretty, just sparkly teal, and then so you can see Shangri-La. Most of you have probably used it, but very sheer and just very, like, holographic magicalness. Very fun for all year round, but very fun for winter. It's got kinda like that snow, magical-y, glittery feeling, so and honestly, Alaskan Sky is just kind of what I had open. I don't remember how I picked this mani because I planned it a few months ago. How I decided that this was what I was gonna do, I don't know, but I mean, I know why I picked Shangri-La, but I don't know why I picked it with these, so could have been any number of reasons. Anyway, so Alaskan Sky was what I had open. I may have and then I've got, what is this? Stargazer here, and so that may have been what I decided to pair it with, and there's no point putting Shangri-La over top of the stars, and so, honestly, if I had more space case or something, I probably would use that, but this is what I have open, so because you could just do it over, like, a teal that went with it, but I don't see the point of opening a new set when I already have Alaskan Sky open, so anyway, this is very glittery, so you don't necessarily need Shangri-La over it. I guess long story short. But I'm always trying to use up those partials. Try to use things that I have open before I'm opening new things. We just got back from Thanksgiving. We went down and spent it with my in-laws. It was good. It was no major like political arguments or nothing, no major drama or anything. So that's always a win. Not that everyone and everyone who was there is pretty chill. Um, yeah. So not that that was a big concern, but you all know. You've been to the family things where the wrong topic comes up and it's just his family, they're all pretty relaxed and it was good. We went down Wednesday. Thursday was food prep and, dinner, Thanksgiving dinner, and then Friday they have a rental house that needs some finishing up before they can get it rented back out, and so my husband and everyone else kinda went and worked on that stuff. I'm kind of just with my toddler because obviously I'm not that useful. So, and then we headed back Saturday, so pretty quick and it was good though on the way down. Funny story. So there's a stretch where you go through the canyon and there's not a lot. There's like one gas station, that whole stretch. And so you get out of the canyon and there's a Maverick right there as you wait, I need to round this. I was trying to like flatten it like it was going on my thumb. I need to round it. Get confused. Anyway, we get out of the canyons, and we're like, okay, let's make a stop. And my husband gets the big kids out of the car, takes them in to go use the bathroom and stuff. And I go to get my toddler out. And of course, he's got his socks and shoes off because why would he not have them off? So it's something to do, right? While you're sitting there. Anyway, so after I find them, because of course they've been thrown, get them put on, my husband and kids are well. Why doesn't that want to come off? Okay, there we go. That scared me that I stuck it on the wrong side or something. They're well on their way in. I get my little guy out and we start to go on, and I was like, wait, I don't want my sunglasses. I was still wearing my sunglasses. And so and we parked right in front of the sliding door into the gas station. So it's like right there, and he's on his way. And I was like, I'm just going to set these on the front seat real quick. And so I open the passenger's door, and he's like in line of sight, like I can see him. And toss him in there, and he like the door slides open, and I'm like, is he gonna go in? And he did. He walked right in, and I was like, oh, this is gonna cause some attention because you don't see a 1-year-old walk into a convenience store by himself all that often. And I'm right there, right? But they can't see me. And I do, sure enough, as I walk in, there's a young man, kind of like looking down at him, like, okay. And then I walk in and there's a bunch of ladies there, like, is he yours? Very concerned. And mostly they're just like, he's cute. It was pretty funny because I knew, like, as soon as he went, I'm like, oh, he's gonna draw some attention right now. Oh, sorry, bumped you. So that was the funny story. And then when we got there Thursday night, I had the idea, let's go see Wicked because that's something, getting to the movies when you have little kids, like, sure, I can get someone to watch my kids or hire a babysitter, but usually it's better to just either wait until it's on, like pay-per-view. I don't think you call it that anymore, but pay to stream, whatever, or on streaming or whatever, just because it's hard to, you kind of pick what you want to go out of the house for. And a movie is something that you can easily do at home, right? It's not like, anyway, but because we were down there around family, I was like, let's see if family will keep the kids. And we did. We went and saw the new Wicked movie. It was really good. I enjoyed it. It was kind of funny. My sister-in-law, she had a couple of free passes to the movie, and they live in a small town, right? Tickets are only $9 to see to get in. So for my husband and I, it would have been $18, right? For an evening showing, right? And they did, the passes worked. And so we saw the movie for free, and then we got, for our concessions, you can get a large popcorn and 2 large drinks for exactly the cost of what our movie would have been. It would have been $18. But then they had, so basically our movie would have been like, movie and concessions was free, right? If we're doing girl math style. Uh, so then but they have a bundle for an extra dollar. So for $19, you get a candy with it. And we did that. So basically we saw the movie for a dollar. So that was my girl math. Yeah. But yeah, I enjoyed the movie. It's not like my favorite musical, but it's very good. And it's always just fun to go out and just relax and see a movie without my kids. And then a lot of my time, because there's all the Black Friday deals, a lot of my time while we were there was spent shopping, mostly for Color Street. Color Street had all their deals. What did I do here? What's going on? Really wrinkly. I think I just set it a little low onto my cuticle. I was focused on, so this is kind of a smaller side strip for this now. This is really metallic-y, this set actually. I don't remember what I was saying. Interrupted myself. Yeah, lots of Color Street shopping. Keeping keeping up on the deals, and one of my local Color Street friends were doing an advent for each other, and so I'm still kind of shopping for that, so I was keeping an eye out on the D-stash groups too. So, okay. And then Friday, while my husband was working, I was like, I may as well take a nap since I'm watching my kid anyway, and I did. I got him to he was fighting his nap, but I finally did get him to nap in my bed with me. We had a nice snooze. He's been kind of a I don't know. We've kind of done some I realized he's been waking up at night, and I was like, "Wait, you were almost 2. We need to be done with this, like, done getting up at night." So we did a couple of nights where if he woke up in the middle of the night these are very stretchy. Maybe I'll use the other end. If you wake up in the middle of the night, only my husband would go and he wouldn't get me. And so finally, he is most nights, yeah, he's not really waking up at night, but he's already kind of been my clingy kid anyway, doesn't like to be away from mom. And so now he's kind of like, I feel like he fights the sleep more. Like if he's awake enough to make himself wake up the rest of you know what I mean? Like if he's sleepy, then he used to just kind of be like, okay, I'm going to sleep. But now he's like, wait, mom, you're going to leave me. I am not allowing that. And he wakes himself back up and screams. So it's been kind of rough. But the trip actually wasn't too bad. He did pretty good. I think he took a nap on Thanksgiving and he slept pretty well through the night during the night. And then it was just that one nap that on Friday, which I didn't mind because I was like, I'm taking a nap anyway. I would like to. So, oh, the other funny thing that happened. So we got there around 5 p.m. on Wednesday, and we realized the sheets for the guest bed that we were using weren't clean. So we put them in the wash. And then we get back from the movie, and I was like, oh my gosh, we should have asked someone to put those in the dryer for us. Well, it turns out, so my husband goes to put them in the dryer. No, they hadn't been put in the dryer. The load hadn't been started. So here it is like 9:30, 10 o'clock, and the sheets are in the dryer and they had poured ammonia on them. So we were up till like midnight and we're all sleeping in one room with all the kids, so we couldn't really put them to bed per se. All right, this is that space case 2Z that I'm really just using because I want to use it up. It is pretty sticky. I had to work it out of the package. So, and honestly, if I toss it, whatever. But, honestly, this, Stargazer is kind of on the sticky side too, so it's good that I'm opening it and using it. Yeah, that we're just gonna toss the rest of that, and we'll just use a it won't be perfectly matchy-matchy, but we'll use an Alaskan Sky on my right hand. How we doing on time? Okay, good. Of course, we're coming up on school pickup time. And of course, my baby didn't, like I was saying, we're struggling with some sleep stuff, and he didn't want a nap, so I had to sit in his room for a while. In the middle of, I was trying to take off. Well, I put him down, and he's like, "No, I'm not doing this." But I was like, "I'm gonna leave you for a few minutes, let you cry for a minute, and I'll come back." So I started taking off my polish. Anyway, if you notice like extra glitter on my hands, I'm sorry. It's because it's always like this. Gotta hurry. Okay, I guess. Should we do the thumbs or should we do? Let's put our Shangri-La on. Just a little. And now we're officially into Christmas season. We're excited. I love Shangri-La. I love that it just makes whatever color you put it over turns into magic. Anyway, it'll be fun to kind of wear it and see if I'm obsessed as I really thought I am, thought I was. It was one my friend gifted it to me and back in the single set days. So that first set I had of it, I probably wore it just by itself, which it's pretty by itself, but obviously once you're an addict, it's hard to do something like that. I think I've done most of my Christmas shopping. Finished up some of the things for my husband. I had him make a Amazon wish list this year. And that's been really because I feel like for him, most things he would rather pick them himself. He doesn't want. So he put some things on there that way it can still be a surprise. I kind of did that with some Black Friday deals. Okay, should we do I was thinking of doing some Shangri-La, like cut wavy, but I think I'm just gonna leave it. I think I like it how it is. But I was thinking, kind of like those cut strips. I'm trying to think of one. The one that's like Silver Lust that came with. It's a sub box. The ones that are cut like on a curve. I was gonna do maybe some of that, but who knows? Maybe I'll do it on the thumb. Yeah, these are very metallic-y. How old is this set? 2022? I've had it that long already. I mean, who knows? I can't remember if I bought this from Color Street or if I got it later off D-Stash. I'm gonna try to see if I can lay this flat. I feel like I got it for Color Street directly, but how would I know? We made it to season 3 of Stranger Things. Like well into that, I think. So of course I haven't watched what recently came out, but then I learned that the the next one's gonna come out, what is it, Christmas? And then the season finale is gonna be on New Year's. So we got time. Yeah, this is a tricky. Okay, so this is because I was in a hurry. I put down peely, I put down a base coat on top of that. And of course, I'm trying to set up while I'm letting it dry because I'm in a hurry. And so my base is not smooth. So that looks like trash. Maybe I will just stick some of the Shangri-La over the whole thing. I might be able to smooth it with heat, but I think I'm just gonna stick Shangri-La on it potentially. Kind of mushing it down, but let's see if we can maybe do better with this one. Anyway, season 3 is kind of fun because they're doing just some fun things with the characters and their personalities. Like you have a lot of that like humor and a lot of like dark stuff happening too, obviously, but I'm gonna try and lay it flat-ish so I can cut the rounded edge flat. Kinda like that. I guess I don't need it all the way down, just enough to kinda cut that end where I want it. Okay, there we go. That worked out pretty good. I'm glad I'm getting this one open. I should try to, this reminds me of the Black Friday, or sorry, Cyber Monday Star Bundle. Obviously, that one's way cooler because it's got the different colors. And I think I'm probably gonna order it, but have not yet. I'm filming this on Cyber Monday, December 1st. Anyway, this kind of like metallic-y stars kind of reminds me of it. It probably would go with that 2026 accent pack pretty well. Which I'm debating how, if I do buy it, how will I use, because it's two strips or two sets of four of the 2026, and it's like big numbers, right? So if you did both of them, you would have potentially all four, but then my nails are bigger, right? So I'm like, do I do like a 2026, and then you still have room to like make it a mixed mani? The other end though is fireworks, so you could just use all the fireworks side. Okay, so yeah, let's add some Shangri-La on this. Gonna use up my thumbs in this set. Go. Maybe this week's already, getting into the busy holiday stuff. We have our church Christmas party on Saturday. I mentioned another video I'm more or less in charge of. I have lots of help and lots of awesome people helping with all the things, but it's a breakfast and we're gonna do breakfast casseroles. And so we purchased all the ingredients and then we had people volunteer to cook them at their homes and bring them all made up to the party. So the people in charge of the party were meeting to assemble them into little kits and then deliver them to people who were cooking them this week. And then someone else volunteered to do the food pretty much. So there's some other things that we're just buying, like some cinnamon rolls to go with the casseroles and drinks, and but she's doing all that, so it's mostly just making sure it all happens, and then yeah, it'll be go time Saturday morning, set it all up and hope it all works out. We're doing a Polar Express theme and hopefully it's really cute. But I think it was like that theme was meant to be because it came together really nicely. I'll let you know how it all is. We're doing a little Polar Express play interactive with the kids. We're gonna invite the kids up and have some chairs set up like a train, and we have someone to be a conductor, and he's gonna be like, okay, turn to the right. The train's turning to the right. You don't have all the kids kind of lean to the right, like they're going on a train ride. And then we have someone to be Santa, and he's gonna give them bells. Nothing too fancy. We're not doing like a set or sound effects. Besides, my husband's gonna narrate, so he'll do some sound effects with his mouth. But okay, I think we're gonna roll with that. Okay, I think I do still really like Shangri-La. I think that's one I like need to just always have in my collection, and I should wear it more. But again, so many fabulous nails, so little time, the continual struggle. But there you go. That's what we came up with. Kind of a little bit Christmassy. You could also wear this other times of year, but I think people will see this and think Christmas this time of year with the stars and the sparkle and the colors. So anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you were doing well, having a great day, and I'll catch you out on the next one.